Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. This week on Clip Service, we're going to talk a little bit about the two games that the Clippers ended up pulling the win in. They weren't pretty, but we got the job done and continued our streak of great play in a win against the Hornets and a win against the Grizzlies. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on around the league and then a jam-packed schedule to start the new year. Hopefully the Clippers can start 2024 the way that they finished 2023. All of that and more coming up. So without further ado, let's make it happen.
What's up, Clipper Nation? Welcome to the Clip Service Podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Amazon Music, YouTube, and even on Twitter and Instagram at Clip Service Pod. I'm Rolla, and this is my co-host Nick. We're being joined by Connor Bell. We're going to have a good time today. Pop off. Let's get right into it. Nick, take it away.
What's going on, everybody? As Rolla said, this is the Clip Service Pod. Got Connor and Rolla here next to me. Happy New Year's Eve, everyone.
New Year's Eve.
Hopefully everybody has some safe fun tonight. Don't drive home if you can't.
Absolutely not.
And everybody just enjoy the last day of the year. It's been a big year for us here at the Clip Service Pod. We finally got this thing going, so hopefully we can continue this fun going into the new year. But let's get right into it. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on around the league. There's not a whole lot to report, but I kind of wanted to get started with our segment, what's going on. And to start that off, let's talk a little bit about the Pistons snapping that 28-game losing streak. Ooh. Holy shit, they did it.
Nope.
They did it, boys. On the back of Cade Cunningham, who ended up putting up 30 with 12 assists. They got good contributions from pretty much everybody in their starting lineup. Jaden Ivey, who I'm super glad that he's getting some playing time. He chipped in with 12 points. Jalen Duren, man, that dude's a beast. 17 rebounds, 18 points. Baby Dwight, as PG would say. Kevin Knox is finding his way back into the league, maybe, after being a lottery pick and being a bust, pretty much. Well, and we know what Bogdanovich can do as well. So, what do you guys think about the Pistons finally ending this losing streak?
Connor, you can go first. I got something to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I don't think anybody expected this season. And just looking at their team on paper, you'd expect them to definitely have at least like 6-7 games won, not winning 3 over the course of the season and 28 losses? Is that
for sure? Yeah, 28 straight.
28 straight losses. Our boy Ryan was just quivering in his boots watching the game.
He's a big Pistons fan. Shouts out Ryan.
But I don't know. It's just pretty crazy. I'm interested to hear what Rolla has to say, though, because it sounds like a hot take. But yeah, I'm just glad they
won. Man.
And granted, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, congrats to the Pistons
on getting their third win of the season.
Yeah, congrats on your third win. Let's be real, the team's trash. Congrats to Bogdanovich, Kevin Knox, Duren, Cade Cunningham on winning one game. But I will say, they play hard. I mean, they're professionals. They get paid millions of dollars. To only have 3 wins on a season is kind of wild to me. But anyways, I wanted to talk about the Boston Celtics barely pulling out a win against the worst team in the league. Literally, the worst team in the league. Might be the worst team ever. And
no. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. They're not the worst team ever.
No, I mean, look at the record. They might be. But I will say
they're going to turn it around.
They're going
to turn it around.
This is something I've kind of preached for a while. There's a player that is so overhyped to me.
Oh God, here we
He
go.
goes by the name of Jason Tatum. He had, I don't know the exact numbers. Let me look it up really quick. He shot,
It doesn't matter.
no, no,
The
no,
numbers
no.
don't matter.
I'm gonna.
Jalen Brown
And the
sat.
numbers matter, bro. The numbers matter because this team went into overtime and he got saved by Derek White.
Bro,
I mean,
we've lost
Derek
to so many bad teams.
No.
We
The
lost to
thing is,
Reggie Jackson and DeAndre Jordan this season.
and
Yeah.
how bummed were we about that? The thing about me is we talk about this dude like he is an MVP every single year. He is consistently mediocre. He goes to the playoffs. His team, he literally has one of the best supporting casts in the league. He is Jalen Brown as the number 2. He is Derek White, who is a backup point guard, and he is putting up all-star level numbers. And this dude loses every year, bro. He's not good, bro. Anyway, and when I say he's not good, when I say he's not good, I mean he is not a superstar the way we talk about him as being a superstar. He put up 32. He put up 31 field goal attempts. He had 31 points, I believe. He put up 32. He put up the ball 31 times. All I'm saying, Jason Tatum, let's stop acting like this dude is on the level of Giannis, on the level of Steph Curry, because he's really not.
I will agree with you there. I don't think he's on the level of those guys. Those guys are championship players.
This is the worst team in the league, and this dude is struggling, bro. Getting saved by Derek White in overtime? Oh my God. Let's stop talking about him, bro.
No.
I'm getting
You can't open up a can of worms.
I'm getting a little too hyped to start off the episode, bro.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean,
back
I wouldn't put him in the same breath as like you said, Steph or Giannis.
I don't want to hear him in the MVP conversation,
Jokic,
bro. It's so annoying.
I think that there's been a case. What's that?
Oh, I was just responding to Rolla. I was like, I don't think he would be in the MVP contention this year.
No, but they always talk. This is exactly what I mean. They always talk about him, bro. They always talk about him like he's in that upper echelon type of player. I think he's just a glorified 3-and-D player, personally.
No, I think that Jason Tatum's career has been. I think honestly his career thus far has been a little bit underrated. I think that he might
underrated.
Yes. He came out swinging right after he got drafted. He was definitely the most NBA ready in that draft class. I think that he's been a solid, if not above average, at least NBA scorer. The moment that he touched the floor, he was really, really good in college, and he kind of didn't skip a beat coming into the league. He's a fantastic shot maker, especially when he's on. The one thing that I will say is I don't necessarily think if the Celtics want to win a championship, and we're going to kind of omit this year because it's early, and also he has the best supporting cast that he's ever had.
Yeah.
But I think that generally speaking, if the Celtics want to win a championship with Jason Tatum, he probably has to be a second option. And that's not to say that he's not capable of being a first option, but I do think that if I was to give him any knocks on his game, it would probably be that when he kind of has the PG, kind of has the PG-itis, where every once in a while when he needs to step up, he won't rise to the occasion, particularly in the playoffs. And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to throw shade at PG either, but he's kind of one of those guys that has all the talent, all the talent in the world. And every once in a while he'll go really cold. When Jason Tatum's bad, he is very bad.
He's terrible.
But I wouldn't say that he's not. I think that he's a superstar. I wouldn't put him on the.
I wouldn't. I mean,
I think this is going to turn into a too long of a debate.
Okay, yeah.
No. I just wanted to. He's on that Devin Booker level to me, where he's like a fake number one option.
Our producer Michael just said, "Holy tangent." Let's move on.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. I had to get that out, dude. We were talking about the Pistons, bro, and I completely forgot that happened. They went into overtime with who people consider the Celtics the number one team in the league.
Well, Jaylen Brown wasn't playing that game either. He sat. Not to say that they shouldn't have, crushed the Pistons, which they still should
I
have.
mean, did the dude put up 31 field goal attempts? He hit 11 of them, 2 of 11 from 3, and had 31 points. And he played 43 minutes. 31 field goal attempts and
The
only
Pistons were
31
desperate, though.
points
The
is
Pistons were desperate. They
insane,
played
dude.
like a desperate team. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about the antithesis of the Celtics, which would be the Los Angeles Lakers. And I just wanted to touch on something really quick. There was a point of contention in our fantasy chat. We have a lot of Laker fans, or a lot of Laker friends, whatever you want to call it. But basically, in our fantasy chat, they were talking about the longest two that we've probably ever seen. LeBron on his birthday, on his 39th birthday last night, pulls up for what would have been the game tying 3 in transition with like a couple seconds left on the clock. And his toe, I mean, as far as I can see, his toe was on the line by a bee's dick, but it was on the line. So I don't know. I think that like there's some pictures on Twitter that are captured maybe like half a second before he planted his foot and like rocked his toe forward to where his toe was on the line. And in those pictures, there is like a little bit of space, but yeah, basically all I'm seeing on Twitter is Lakers fans saying that, they were cheated out of this win, this and that, it's a close call, but I don't know. To me, it looked like his toe was on the line. What do you guys think?
I think that was a clean. Well, I don't want to say clean, but I definitely think that was a 3. I think
you're kidding me.
No,
it's really hard to see.
I think when it's that close, bro, and his foot, because his shoe tilts over the line. I mean, to me, I don't think that should be a 2. That's
his toe was on the line.
It wasn't.
His foot,
at least from what I saw.
Okay, we'll see if we can pull it up.
At least from what I saw.
We'll try and edit that in. See if we can get a picture of it. But
I saw a slow-mo zoom up, and I was like, you know what, dude? I don't mean to be like just give it to him type of person, but like at that point we're really nitpicking. Like, come on,
we're nitpicking, but the tip of his toe is touching the blue paint of the line.
Dude, have you seen like the up close zoomed in?
Yes, I have.
It's like the top of his shoe, and I don't think it.
We're gonna try.
I think the angle looks like it's over the line, but when you actually zoom into the leather or the rubber of his shoe, it doesn't touch the line.
I don't think anybody on this planet has that good of eyes. I think that we have to go
exactly, which is why I feel like they should have just given it to him. Like, why are we?
Well, that's no. I think if it's not clear, you have to rule it as what it was called as, which was a 2.
That's true.
Yeah, but I know I'm saying like they shouldn't have called it as a 2.
Wow.
Well, that's neither here nor there because the Lakers lost, and that okay. So that's actually what I want to talk about next. Is I think it's really funny how, and I'm not trying to make this a let's throw shade at the Lakers podcast, but I will say I have a lot of friends that are Laker fans. We live in the LA area. There's a lot of Laker fans around, and I think that it's really funny how nobody can come up with excuses when we lose. It's always, like we'll be missing Kawhi, we'll be missing PG, we'll lose. Oh, we didn't have those guys. That's probably why we lost. And I always hear from across the hall, no excuses. You got to find a way to win. Always throwing excuses. But we're talking about a call where the game came down to within 2 seconds, LeBron having to pull up in a transition 3 and hit a prayer shot. Just getting to that point. I mean, obviously the Timberwolves are have the best record in the West. They're a very good team this year.
Very.
They're going to beat teams. They have been all season. But it's just funny how we can pick and choose using excuses. I don't know. That's just I'm not going to get any further into it, but I think it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, the Lakers are always going to talk shit. That's just kind of the the nature of where we are at currently.
And
I
good for
think
them. You know what?
they
They have a bunch of championships. They can talk their shit.
and exactly to me, it's like they can say whatever they want. They
But I'm gonna
got to
say
the
whatever
West.
I want.
No,
How about
I'm
that?
just saying. I'm just saying. Like for me, like I'm not gonna speak. They can say whatever they want. At this point, like I accept it. It is what it is. They are a franchise that accepts nothing less than a chip every year. And
Rolla loves the bully vibe, dude. Rolla
no,
loves the bully vibe.
it's not even a bully vibe. It's just being real, bro. Because I feel like a lot of Clipper fans aren't. And at the end of the day,
I
dude,
wouldn't say that we're
on
not
a
real.
no, it's just like on an off year.
We might be
On
too
a
nice. Clipper fans can be too
no,
nice
I
sometimes
think we are because on an off
because
year
we're
they made the
smart,
Western Conference
intelligent
Finals,
people.
bro. On an off year last year they made the Western Conference Finals, and that's something we've done one time. And for them to say like, "Oh, you got to find a way," and that's real because they accept nothing less than a championship, so we should be accepting nothing less. I feel like, so I don't know. I think I think the year we choked that 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets in 2020 and they won the chip, kind of like really instilled a lesson upon myself, and that's to accept nothing less, bro. Like if
Yeah.
like we have to really hold ourselves accountable as a fan base and as a team, and I think that's where like me as like a Clipper fan, I just take it. I mean, they know what it takes to get to the chip, and you know that's something we've never experienced. So until we get there, we got nothing to say, type of thing.
I got you. I got you. Well, let us know, guys, in the comments what you think, how we should be acting, what you guys think of Rolla's mentality of no excuses. You know, we
Zero.
you know, zero excuses. We got to be better. I like it. I like it. Um, you know, maybe I don't carry myself that way every time, but you know, that's why we have these discussions. I also wanted to talk about the first big trade. Pre trade deadline. The Knicks receive OG Anunoby, Precious Achua, and Malachi Flynn. The Raptors receive RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley. RJ Barrett goes back to his hometown of Toronto. And I think that that's probably a good thing for him, not necessarily just the hometown thing, but I think RJ Barrett was one of those guys that kind of needed a reset. I think that it wasn't working out in New York. It seemed like he was a fan favorite, and I think that he definitely could have turned it around. I was talking about it in one of our other pods. I think that he still has yet to reach his ceiling, but I do think that getting a change of scenery can kind of help him accelerate that. And then Emmanuel Quickley, I think, gets a chance to be the lead guard off the bench, probably, or you know, might eventually end up replacing Dennis Schroeder in the starting lineup over there. I think it's great for both sides. OG Anunoby was a guy that I thought that the Cavs should go ahead and get, or someone in the East that needed some size and some defense in the backcourt, and the Knicks go ahead and do that. They basically get you know, what they get with Josh Hart, but better, in my opinion, as far as being able to guard the opposing team's best players. I think that both teams cashed out in this trade. What do you guys think, Connor? How do you feel?
I mean, I don't know too much about OG, but from what I've heard from just reading online and from you guys too, like he is more of a defensive unit. And I think with Knicks, like just running the ball through Brunson, like that's a really good idea. And then having either Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson next year, you know, solid center units, and then just guards that can run the wing, guard players, and just create more opportunities offensively. I think it's a good trade. And, you know,
Yeah, I think.
oh, what were you going to
No,
say?
no, I was just gonna say I agree with what you were kind of getting into. I think that it gives Brunson a little bit more of a chance to play on ball. OG is pretty good off the catch, and he's a little bit more of an off ball player than RJ Barrett is. RJ Barrett wasn't a great catch and shoot threat. He kind of needed the ball in his hands, so I think that's good. And you know, Jalen Brunson, Becky Hammond actually talked about it about a week ago. She was saying that you can't win a championship when your best player is a small guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't think it's that cut and dry, but I do agree to a point that I mean you saw it with Dame. I think with Donovan Mitchell in Utah, you see it where when your lead guy is a smaller guard, aside from Steph Curry, which she also touched on. I think that it's hard. It's hard to win a championship or be a championship contender when your best player is just physically disadvantaged. So I think that adding size and adding defense was great for the Knicks. And then, like I said, I think the Raptors, they're in a full rebuild mode. I think Pascal
Mm-hmm.
is next to go. So getting assets like Quickly and Barrett definitely helps. When OG was probably inevitably going to leave in free agency or whatever. So
Right. I
I
think the
honestly,
Raptors. Oh, I was gonna say I think the Raptors got. Whoa, from what I've heard and I guess how I feel, I think the Raptors got a little bit better. I personally think they won the trade, but also I have never been a RJ Barrett believer.
yep,
Um, just because I don't. I mean, he was. What was I think was he the second or third pick in that draft? I think he was the third pick in that draft, and
probably.
I don't think he's panned out to be as good as a third pick should be. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
but
think he's necessarily a third pick. I think
yeah,
he's still
yeah,
pretty good though.
I think he's a good role player type of piece. But I think OG Ananobi isn't. I don't think he makes the Knicks significantly better. I think they're going to be around the same level of a team with OG instead of I guess RJ Barrett. I think OG brings a lot to that team, but at the end of the day, I think they're still the same level of an NBA team that they were before. So it's kind of one of those trades where I think that both teams, I think both teams won, and I think both teams are still at the same strength level. But
Yeah.
I guess we'll
mhm,
see, right?
Yeah. No,
yeah.
true. Last thing I wanted to talk about in this segment is some good news coming out of the Clippers sphere. Kawhi and Plumlee. Plumlee, I think, missed like the last 6 weeks or something like that with that knee injury that he suffered against the Knicks. But Kawhi and Plumlee are both practicing today. I'm sure that Kawhi is still questionable for tomorrow's game against the Heat. Kawhi missed the last, I think, 4 games with that hip contusion. Real quick, I just wanted to touch on. I don't mind, obviously, I don't mind Kawhi missing time when he's hurt. Like I don't mind anybody missing time when they're hurt.
Mm-hmm.
The problem that I have with the way that the Clippers handle these kind of things is the listing. It's deflect like it's very deflective. Like we're listing a player as day to day. You don't really know what their status is. You don't get a timetable, and it's always questionable, questionable, questionable. They missed this game. They missed that game. If Kawhi's going to miss a week, 2 weeks, I would. I mean, and maybe there's a chance that they truly didn't know what his timetable would be. But just given the history that this team's had with not being super clear with their fans, I would love to just know, okay, Kawhi's going to miss a week. Kawhi's going to miss 2 weeks. Maybe he'll be back earlier, but give us a timetable. Okay, it just seems disingenuous. It seems like a way to sell tickets. Um, that's been my biggest gripe with the Clippers. Not my biggest gripe. There's been several, but that's been one of my bigger gripes with the Clippers the last couple of years, particularly in the 2-1-3 era, is just the lack of clarity with
Mm-hmm.
these injuries, and we kind of just waiting for something. We're waiting for something, and then it's always, oh, he's good. It's a day to day. So, and then as far as Plumlee, we have Tice. I honestly wouldn't mind if Plumlee slotted into a third string role. I like Plumlee, but I like what Tice has given us more. Obviously, it's nice to have that size, but I actually don't think that Plumlee is going to be on this team past the trade deadline anyway. We'll see. But what do you guys think about this? I mean, it's great news, to hear that they're practicing. But what do you guys think?
I mean, the fact that they're practicing is great. But to go to your comment about the Clippers listing Kawhi and kind of listing our stars as they're not very clear on I guess the status of our players. And I do agree. I think that it might be like almost like a scam. I don't want to say it's like scam, but like almost a
Like
way
a
to
business tactic?
to sell tickets. And it is pretty frustrating, and it does feel like they're lying to us because I remember in the playoffs that we got to the Western Conference Finals, they had been listing. They've been saying Kawhi might come back. Kawhi was day to day. Kawhi isn't, out. And all we were
And
hearing
then
all
missed the
these
whole
things.
season.
And yeah, this dude had a torn ACL, and they were acting like there was a chance he could come back. And it
Mm-hmm.
almost feels like we're getting hoodwinked as fans,
Yeah.
where we're like believing that maybe he could come back, and we're like holding on to belief, and the team knows, like obviously the doctors know that there's no chance he's coming back, and it's good to see that he's practicing now, so we know that at some point, hopefully this week or next week, he comes back. But yeah, it's hard to trust the team on that when that happens. How about
Yeah.
you, Connor?
Um, yeah, I totally spaced out. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right, let's move on, baby. Woo!
That's my bad.
It's New Year's Eve.
Yeah, dude.
None of our brands are here. If we really think about it. So let's just get into
Yeah, let's get into the
let's
games.
hope that we get Kawhi and Plumlee back soon, and let's get into recaps. The Clippers won 2 games in a row, and during this stretch, it was a lighter week. Thankfully, with Kawhi being out, it's good to get those days of rest. But the first game was a 113-104 win against the Charlotte Hornets. Ended up being a lot closer of a game than I would have liked. We actually ended up fighting back from I think we were down 7 with no more than like 8 minutes left in the fourth or something like that. It was either that or we were down 9 with 7 minutes left, something like that. We were down in the fourth. The Hornets played us hard, and it took a 29-point effort from James Harden and a 25-point effort from Paul George, who kind of woke up in the second half. 18 points from Zubats with 14 rebounds. Zoo's been incredible. I keep saying it, over the course of the last several weeks, Zoo's been playing at an elite level, and I think James Harden's a big reason for that. Quiet night from Terrence and Amir. Kind of this game was kind of more of the same from Terrence, where he's just got to be a little bit more aggressive. He was a +2 in the plus minus, but this game was a great game from Russell Westbrook, actually coming off the bench.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, only had 2 fouls. Russ has been great. The last 2 games, Russ has been probably the best player on the floor. Obviously James Harden had 29 points, 25 points.
James Harden.
James Harden, obviously points are what wins you games. But I think just from an energy standpoint, and these are both 2 games that we really kind of had to claw our way out of. And Russ kind of gave us that boost off the bench and kind of instilled that belief that we're the better team, and we just got to show it. So what did you guys think about this game?
I didn't get a chance to watch too much of this game. But I did see the highlights, and like I guess kind of going back to your comment about like how Russell Westbrook has been the best player on the floor. I feel like it's been James Harden. I think he's done such a good job at kind of running our offense and controlling the game, especially in Kawhi's absence. I feel like he's kind of been our number one guy almost. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think that James Harden is kind of sliding into that number 2 guy on our team. Obviously
I don't think that's a hot take.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know what the season is going to be, but I think that if Paul George ends up like missing time at some point, or it just ends up being Kawhi and James Harden, I think we see James Harden kind of be our second option over Paul George, just because this dude hits tough shots, and he hits big shots, and he controls the game, and he's a really good point guard for our team. Overall, you kind of went through, I guess the stats of the players, but James Harden a +21 in this game. You can't ignore that. That's just him being an MVP caliber type of player. Did you watch this game, Connor?
No, I didn't get a chance to, but I don't know about James Harden being behind PG though, in the sense of like being a number 2 option. I feel like he's either going to get the ball in his hands for a catch and shoot, or take it down the court, take it down the floor with all of the stars healthy, or even if some of them are injured. I feel like he's just still going to have the ball in his hands. But
well, you think he's going to be? You think that he would be a number 2 option or a number 1, or what are you trying to say?
Well, you said he would be a number 2 behind PG, but then what about
No,
Kawhi?
I meant. Sorry if I misspoke. I don't remember, but I meant
Yeah.
he's gonna be a number two behind Kawhi. Because right
Yeah.
now, I think the tier level is. Well, I don't want to say tier level, but um, it's almost like it's Kawhi who's number one, who gets gets the first option, gets the
Mhm.
shots, and then it's Paul George, and then it's James Harden. But I think that it's going to go to Kawhi, obviously, and then James Harden. I think is going to get those shots, are going to get those plays over Paul George. You know,
Mm. Okay. Yeah, no, I
that's
know what
kind
you
of what I mean, because I just think that James Harden has been playing better recently and has been a better option for our team when it comes to scoring and making plays and winning games. You know,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
I am glad you brought that up though, Connor, because I think that it can go both ways. I think that, and that's kind of the plus side of having a guy like James Harden is like you get to have one night you can have a one be James Harden, and one night you can have it be Paul George. I think that the reason why there is merit in saying that James Harden probably is the second option, particularly on offense, is because really we talk about it all the time, but really the biggest um, bugaboo, I guess, with Paul George is he could very well be a number one option and at very least be a number two option. But the thing with Paul George has always been the consistency and the mentality. And that is one thing that James Harden's never lacked
facts.
since he became that star in Houston. Is he knows exactly when he needs to take over. And
Mhm.
sometimes it doesn't come to fruition. We always talk about James Harden playing poorly in the playoffs. He'll go 0 for 11, 0 for 15 from 3 or whatever. But he knows that, okay, now is my time, because he's such a gifted passer. But the difference that sets James Harden apart from all the other offensive talents in the league, like Luka, and Luka's the biggest one I can think of. The difference that sets him apart from those guys is he knows when to flip the switch, and he knows when to focus on one aspect of the game. Like James Harden will understand, okay, right now I need to make plays because Paul George has a hot hand or Norman Powell's hitting it from 3. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
keep facilitating. But when it comes time to, okay, nobody's hitting a shot, let me go ahead and get to my step back. James Harden's really good at recognizing that. And that's why he said that he's a system. He's not
Facts.
a one-dimensional thinker. Has the ability he understands the game to the point where he knows when to take over which aspect of the game. So I think that in reality, it should be Paul George, just with the amount of time and money that we've invested into a 2-1-3, Kawhi and PG. I think that Paul George should be the de facto number two guy. But when Paul George is struggling, like he kind of has the last 2 games, I think that James Harden knows that he can slot into that role and he'll just take over, and he has been. I do think that Paul George needs to be our finisher, because he can hit shots that James Harden can't just because of his size.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul George is so physically gifted and so skilled that he can hit shots that nobody in the league can hit when he's on. So it's a good problem to have, but it's definitely a good. You bring up a good point in questioning that, Connor. So I think that it could go both ways.
Mhm.
Um,
It's
yeah, but
exciting.
it was a good game. It was a good game from our starting unit for the most part in this one, and we pulled out a win. Miles Bridges, he who shall not be named, had a really good game and kind of almost put us away. But this one thing that I've loved about this Clippers team is and it's different than the way we've conducted our business in the past, is we've really known how to handle business in the fourth. Like we're a better
Mm-hmm.
clutch team than we have been in years, and I think that
Right.
James Harden's a big reason for that. But yeah, we ended up taking the win, and then we ended up continuing the good play. Well, we ended up continuing our winning streak. It wasn't a great game, but we beat the Grizzlies the game after 117-106. Ja Morant is back. But I will say right off the top, Ja Morant did not look like himself. He was 0 for 7 from 3, 7 for 19 from the field. Wasn't comfortable getting to his spots. Credit the Clippers defense on him. They were kind of sealing off the paint and letting him shoot from 3, letting everybody shoot from
Mm-hmm.
3. And Ja Morant finished the game with only 19 points. Was a minus 19 in the plus minus. So yeah, what was something that you guys saw from that game that you liked? There wasn't a whole lot to like. It was a very ugly game, but we ended up taking the win. Break it down a little bit for us, guys.
So I'll just say two things. One, from the game, like you were saying, it was kind of a sloppy game, but I thought that Amir Coffey played fantastic. He
He
hit
was
big shots
incredible.
for us, 3 of
Yeah.
4 from three. That was just something I noticed immediately. He hit big shots for us. And then another thing I noticed, dude, that honestly bums me out a lot, bro, was, dude, they did not give a fuck about Terrence Mann. Like, on defense,
He
they
had
just
so much
didn't
daylight,
even, bro, they didn't even care. They were like, okay, take it.
and he was 0
Open,
for 6. And he was
bro,
0 for
open
6 from 3.
threes, bro, open threes. It was tough to watch, bro. Because the clock would be running out, and it'd be 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then he's just standing out there open three, and he just has zero confidence, and it's just sad and almost hurtful to see.
I
Being a
know.
Terrence
I
Mann
feel your
fan.
pain, dude. I feel your pain.
I've noticed that
Um,
about Terrence this year. He hasn't been much of a scorer. Like,
yeah,
and he
and
gets sometimes 25, 30 minutes a game. But
I don't know why. I mean, the dude. I mean, obviously he practices, but it's. I guess like in a. I feel like as a professional player, and knowing that Terrence Mann. I mean, we've seen it before. We know he can hit threes, but
yeah,
it's almost like, dude, he's getting the Russell Westbrook treatment, and that's, I feel like, is unfair. And
Mm.
it's almost like I don't understand how you could go 0 of 6, because those are open 6 shots. You know what I mean? And I feel like as a professional basketball player, um, knowing how to shoot threes, and no, and I guess it all comes down to confidence at the end of the day. But I feel like you can't be going 0 and 6 from open threes. That's just
Yeah.
how I feel.
Yeah. No,
What about
it's.
you, Connor? Did you have anything to say about this game?
I mean, just looking at the stats of the whole game and everything, the scorecard. But I mean, our whole team put up some numbers at least, and all contributed points wise, which I think is really cool to see. It
Mm,
just shows like we have some depth and we can call on some guys whenever we need them. Uh, but yeah, I was a little worried watching the score, and I watched like the third and fourth quarter of this game, and the Grizzlies were not stopping. They were trying to put up a fight. So it was a little worrying on defense watching Marcus Smart, take threes and become more of a catch and shooter,
yeah,
even shooting guard, which I think is a new thing for him. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But I'm just glad we closed the fourth. Like Nick said earlier, is that we've gotten a lot better at that. And we've been, closing out games instead of losing them. So, and yeah. Nick, what do you think?
Um, there's a lot. There's a lot that I digested from this game. One thing that I saw a little bit on Twitter. I'm not there yet, but I wonder. I have a question for you guys before I get into a little bit more of this game.
hmm
When Kawhi comes back, do you think that there is any benefit to starting Amir Coffey in Terrence Mann's place and having Terrence come off the bench? Just because Amir has looked pretty close to fantastic in every game that he's played this season. We love Amir. His ceiling, I don't think, is as high as Terrence Mann's. I think that's pretty clear. But I'm wondering, and I don't have an opinion on it yet, but I'm wondering if that would be beneficial in just letting Terrence take a step back and contextualize things. He's thinking too much right now. He's thinking too much. And I'm a bit, I think that Terrence needs the minutes regardless. I'm sick of seeing Terrence not play any minutes over the course of the last couple of years, getting DMPs and this and that. He needs minutes regardless of where he's at in the lineups. But I'm wondering if there's any benefit in when Kawhi comes back, having the starting four be James, Amir at the 2, Kawhi, or Kawhi at the 2, PG at the 3, Amir at the 4, and Zoo at the 5. What do you think? What do you guys think?
Uh, bro,
It's an
that's
interesting. It's an
it's
interesting proposal that
I
yeah.
mean,
I was interested when I saw it.
it would be smart to do that against teams that we believe we can win. where we feel like we can
Our
lose.
margin for error is a lot smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, and that we could afford to have T-Man, on the floor less. I think why not? Then put in Coffee for more minutes and see what he's got. Because if he just ups his game too, I mean, we could see him taking over T-Man's position in
I
the
don't
team.
think it would be a long-term thing. I will say, I don't think that it would be a long-term thing like Coffee is our de facto starter, but just until Terrence gets his confidence back, because that's really the only thing that he's missing right now is his confidence.
If I look at this from a objective point of view, dude,
You're doing it 10 times out of 10, huh?
I gotta start Amir Coffee, bro.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Amir Coffee, dude, he rarely has bad games. He he plays his heart out since what was that year that there was a year we played him a ton. Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was.
And
He was getting a ton of playing time, and I
he
think
was
he was
balling
like
out, bro.
it was this time that year too. It was around December that Amir Coffee was shooting like 42 from 3. I
Yeah,
think he had like a 30-point game or something like that. Like Amir definitely steps up when he's called on.
he's good,
Um,
man. Like, and it's honestly, I like like I said last episode, I would die for Terrence Mann, bro. I'm a ride or die, bro. This
of
dude
course.
is his potential is through the roof. He gives us something that a lot of teams don't have.
Mhm.
But Amir Coffee, man, he plays his heart out, man. Like, and there's nothing else to say about it. And that's
And
there's like,
he's not right now at least he's not as afraid of the moment, I
no,
think.
he's not, and I don't think he's ever been. And it's like he's one of those players where there's no reason for why he doesn't get minutes. There's no reason for why he doesn't get more minutes than Terrence Mann type of thing. Because he's always, I don't want to say he's always played better than Terrence Mann, but most of the times when he is on the floor, numbers wise, you see that he is puts up more than Terrence Mann. He is a little bit more efficient than Terrence Mann, and it's almost like you ask yourself, why do we play Terrence Mann more than Amir again? And you keep asking yourself that question, and then Terrence Mann does this or that, and you have to actually watch the games to see what Terrence Mann provides for the team. But
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I think Amir Coffey should be getting Terrence Mann's minutes. If not, I think that Terrence Mann should be coming off the bench and should be that option after Russell Westbrook or Norman Powell, maybe just to get his confidence back or maybe
Yeah.
make him work harder. Because I mean, Amir Coffey has just been fantastic for us
Yeah,
year
he
over
has.
year after year.
Yeah. He has. It's something to think about. Clipper Nation, tell us what you think, where you can on Twitter, on YouTube, comment below. Just two more quick things I wanted to touch on before we go into the previews. Didn't love what I saw at all from Paul George this game. Ended up fouling out of the game. I would say about 3 of those fouls were pretty unnecessary. The last one that he picked up to foul him out was just a wild reach in on Marcus Smart. Egregious foul. PG was only 8 for 21 from the field. Definitely a stinker of a game, and I think that PG struggled a little bit to step up in Kawhi's absence. It's definitely something to keep an eye on. Obviously, I'm not particularly worried about Paul George in the long run. He is unguardable when he's on, and we've seen what he can do for us, leading us to a Western Conference Finals. Him and Reggie Jackson a couple of years ago. I just hope that he gets his shot back, and hope that he starts having fun out there. He doesn't look like he's having fun out there, and he looks a little disengaged on both sides of the floor. So it's something to keep an eye on. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on is Zoo with probably his best statistical game of the season
Yeah,
so
wow.
far. 20 rebounds, 15 points. He got a block. Zoo looked dominant out there, 7 for 8 from the field, 1 for 1 from the free throw line, 33 minutes. I got to give my props and flowers to Zubats. He has been everything we've needed him to be and more. And, James Harden's done a great job at getting him involved. One of the best things I've ever heard Shaq say was, if you want the dog to protect the house, you got to feed him. And James Harden's been doing that.
Yeah.
He's been getting Zubats involved. And I think that I want to see more of that. But yeah, I think that that's probably about it for the recaps of those 2 games. We're running a little bit longer than than scheduled. So let's go ahead and get into these previews. We got a pretty jam-packed week coming up. We got the Miami Heat on Monday, Phoenix on Wednesday, New Orleans on Friday, and then we got the Lake Show on Sunday. It's going to be a test. We've seen it before, during that stretch where we beat Indiana. Excuse me, we beat Indiana, New York, Sacramento, Portland. That was a pretty tough stretch. At Dallas, we ended up beating Dallas too. So this is just going to be more of the same. I think that we got to rise to the occasion. Miami's playing pretty well right now. Phoenix is struggling, but obviously they have dynamic scorers. New Orleans always gives us trouble. And then the Lakers, the last couple of times we played them, it's been, it's usually a pretty good game every time we play the Lakers. Obviously, we've beat them more times than not lately, but they play us hard. So I'm looking forward to these games. What do you guys, let's just group it all together. What do you guys expect to see during this stretch? Maybe touch on a couple things that you'd like to see or whatnot.
This is kind of a hard stretch. It's going to be a hard week. It looks like we don't have any back-to-backs this week. What, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday?
Yeah, thankfully.
But these are good teams. Miami's Miami. That's a team that was in the finals last year.
Shouts out Jaime Jaquez too. This dude is. I wanted the Clippers
really
to draft
good.
him so bad.
Yeah, he's really good.
I think he's from Oxnard or Camarillo, just down the way from where I'm at.
He played for UCLA, right?
He did, but I think he's from Camarillo or Ventura or something like that. 805 legend. So, really, really stoked to see this dude ball out. And he's been giving them such an edge.
A lot.
He's one of the best rookies in the class so far.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I wanted the Clippers to draft him so bad. I did not expect him to get drafted that early. I did a ton of pre-draft research on this dude, and I loved watching him play. All 4 years at UCLA. Mm-hmm. And being a local legend, I would have loved to see him in a Clipper jersey, but now that he's in a Miami jersey, we got to make sure that we contain him. He's a great rebounder, does a little bit of everything. Obviously, Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, you obviously got to watch out for those guys. Those guys are their stars, but keeping guys like Jaime and Kyle Lowry and some of their other, hustle players out of the mix too is going to go a long way. What do you want to see, Connor? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, well, for the Miami game, I think Jimmy Buckets is going to be out. I think he hurt his ankle last game. So
I thought he was cleared, but I could be wrong.
MRI, but he could be taking another game of rest, or he could be back. But either way, if he's there or not, the Heat have been winning without him over the past couple of games. So I think they could still do well even without Jimmy Buckets on their team right now. And yeah, he's day to day.
Yeah, him and Kyle Lowry are both day to day.
Yeah. So, it's a tough stretch. I hope to see, Kawhi coming back, at least in these next 4 games.
Absolutely.
Even if it's 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 4, but I think we'll probably win 2, and I think we might lose 2 this next week. I think we'll break even. But what do you guys think?
I think it'll be. I think that. Yeah, I think I would agree. The Phoenix game I think is going to be difficult just because they have their big 3 healthy. And they're, even though there's been rumors that Kevin Durant's been frustrated, they've been playing poorly, I think they're going to pick it up, especially just because they have the talent. It is what it is. I think the New Orleans game, they always play us hard. That's the issue that I have. So I don't know. I think we would be lucky to come out 2-2. But if Kawhi plays and he comes back, I think that will be the case. We always play hard against the Lakers, but I don't think any of these games is going to be a guaranteed win. I think we're going to have to play hard for 4 games straight, which is, that's what we expect. But it's going to be. I think it's going to be a difficult week.
And if LeBron James comes out wearing a size smaller shoe, we're in trouble, guys. He's going to be hitting a ton of threes. He's going to clean up those long twos and going to go 10 for 10 from 3. He's going to be wearing a toddler size 3 though. I agree. I think that we need to try and see if we can split these games. If we get Kawhi back and everybody can kind of adjust to having him back, that's another thing that I'm kind of worried about is okay, when Kawhi comes back, are we going to see regression from some other guys trying to figure out, okay, like trying to reacquaint themselves with having Kawhi on the floor and stuff like that, like we
Right.
were prior to him going down. I hope that if he does come back, we can get him back sooner rather than later, so we can kind of have maybe one game to figure it out before we start getting into the meat and potatoes of this 4-game stretch. But yeah, I would love to see Kawhi come back, and I would love to see us at least split. I honestly think that we can go 3-1. I don't think we're going to sweep these 4. I think that the one team that I'm always looking at when we play them is the New Orleans Pelicans. They just have our number. It's just one of those teams.
Yeah.
And I would not be shocked if we ended up dropping this one. I would love to see us win, but in New Orleans, it's gonna be a tough game. That's the game that I'm probably the most hesitant to say that we would win. But we've been playing really well. I think we've won 80% of the last 15 games or whatever. We've been playing really well. These are teams that we can beat, but that's probably my one team that if we do lose, that's the team I have. We can beat Miami. I think that we can take advantage of Phoenix still trying to get their shit figured out. The Lakers, kind of a coin flip. We'll see what version of the Lakers we get. Who knows who's going to play or who's going to step up. Anthony Davis, when he plays to his ability, is one of the best players in the game, but his problem is a lot of the time he's either injured or he's just not playing up to the standard, settles for jumpers, doesn't play in the paint enough. So we'll see what version of the Lakers we get against them. But yeah, my prediction is 3-1 in this upcoming stretch, and we continue our dominance going into the new year. That's my New Year's resolution, is just being a more optimistic Clipper fan, because it is very hard. But I like what I've seen. Hopefully PG can get his shot right, particularly if Kawhi misses some time. And hopefully Terrence can realize that he's that guy. And, we don't necessarily need him to go out and score 25, but shoot your open shots and make your open shots. If teams are going to give you daylight, make them pay, because it's what we did we literally ended the Jazz as we knew them at that time in the playoffs, because Terrence Mann took the shots that he was given and he made them. And we need that version of Terrence Mann back. Yeah, I mean, do you guys have anything else you want to touch on for this next 4 games?
No, I'm good. I think I said all I need to say. Expecting 2-2, but obviously would love to see 3-1 or a 4-0.
Yeah, it'd be great. One thing I want to ask you guys before we get out of here is, what do we hope to see in the new year? New Year's Eve is upon us. 2024 is right around the corner. The Clippers have turned it around. James Harden is the system. What do we want to see going into the new year? Well, as Clipper fans, what are we hoping for?
Oh shit!
Bro, it's like, where do I begin?
Come on, bro. The next year is, I think, the next year, 2024 could be big because of 2 reasons. Personally,
continue, Rolla. I'm gonna go grab something. Part.
Personally, number 1, bro. I want to see a championship, and if we don't win a championship in the year 2024, I want to see I think we're gonna have a difficult conversation as Clipper fans and as a organization, and I want to see one of our stars or superstar gone from the team, because I think we're in a cycle that seems to be never ending. I mean, bro, I really want a championship, but like I said, if we don't win one this year, I think it's championship or bust. If we don't win one this year, then I need to see some guys gone, bro. That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling.
Wow.
What'd I miss?
Rolla basically just said that if we don't win a championship this year, he needs to see some of our stars gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's your New Year's. That's your New Year's wish.
No, my New Year's wish is a championship,
Yeah.
and if we don't, my New Year's wish is to see people gone. I want to see a change. I want to see a big change, bro. I want to see a big change.
Man, I went all the way to get a beer just to say the same shit. So I'm gonna crack this.
Whoa! Whoa! Me and Nick on the same
I'm
page
gonna
for once,
piggyback.
bro.
I'm gonna piggyback.
Wow.
Love to see it, dude. Love to hear it. What happened to being more optimistic?
Connor, get into yours, and then I'm gonna just elaborate a little bit on what Rilla said.
You want me to just bring up my hot take, or what I want for your?
Oh, Connor's got a hot take. Let's go. Come on.
What was what we talked
Hot
about
take,
earlier,
shot
but-
take. Let's get it.
Oh, you want me to
guys-
get my take too?
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead. Which gives me a second to piggyback off of what Rolla said. So yeah, I think that this is. I don't think we touched on it in like one of the first episodes that we did. This is about as close to a last dance or make or break season in my eyes. I think that getting James Harden kind of opens things up a little bit because, okay, now you have, options as far as who to offer contracts to stay, who you can choose to let walk. I think Russ and Harden are both going to be free agents. And then Kawhi and PG both have a player option, I think. Either that or we can offer them the max this offseason. I can't remember what the financial breakdown of that is, but basically bottom line, I think that we need to win. At the very least, we need to make a finals appearance this season and, just show that this 2-1-3 thing is going to work. And my piggyback off of what Rolla said, and I don't normally do this because I'm very superstitious, but the Los Angeles Clippers, I can't even say it because I'm so goddamn excited. The Los Angeles Clippers will be your 2023-2024 NBA champions going into this season. We will come out victorious. I think that we'll probably end up facing I want to say the Boston Celtics, but Rolla's going to love me saying this. I don't know if they're going to. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if they can get to the finals. Something might happen along the way. I think it'll probably be the Bucks. I think the Bucks will probably turn it around. I'm going to predict a Bucks Clippers finals matchup. The Clippers win it in 6, and are your new champions. That's my take, and I'm sticking to it. Happy New Year.
Whoa, in 6 is crazy.
Connor, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Well, for the Clippers, I agree with Nick and Rolla, obviously.
Boring.
Yeah, but my hot take going into 2024 is that SGA is going to win MVP.
Whoa.
And he's going to help me win my fantasy league.
Wow.
All right. Well, I mean, the fantasy league thing, that's great. He's a great fantasy player. We're in a points league. He's putting up them numbers. MVP is, I mean, I guess it's not super far-fetched. I would love to see the spread on that, or like the numbers, or where he's estimated to fit. What's that?
Oh, sorry. I was just like adding on. I was like, he's just lethal this season.
He's lethal, and he's playing. I mean, he's playing at an MVP level, and the OKC Thunder is pretty good. You know what, Connor? That's not that weird. That's not that wild, because I think at the very least, I think Mark Daignault or however you pronounce his last name, I think that he probably gets Coach of the Year.
They're number 2 in the West right now.
They are number 2 in the West. They're playing great. Everybody's kind of elevated. Everybody's bought in. I think at the very least, he probably wins Coach of the Year, because I can't think of anybody else that's kind of overachieved that way. I mean, maybe oh my God.
Timberwolves coach?
No. Oh my God. Hall of Fame level coaches the fucking Pacers right now. He was coaching the Mavs.
Mike, can you look that up?
No, it's I'm drawing a blank.
I know who you're talking about.
Bald dude. Why am I dude, I talk about him all the time.
Starts with an R.
Oh my God. It's Rick. I guarantee it. Yeah, Rick Carlisle. Oh my God, I'm so stupid.
Yeah,
Rick Carlisle. Sorry, guys. I'm showing my colors. No, I think Rick Carlisle is probably like the closest to him in terms of like overachieving this season. Um, the Timberwolves are great, but I think that they probably get more credit to based on what Rudy Gobert's done and Anthony Edwards has done this season. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think that that's that odd now that I think about it. For Shea to be MVP, I don't think it'll happen just because there's always a narrative for one of the vets to win it. It'll
I
probably
don't
end
think
up
this year,
being
dude.
it'll probably end up being like Kevin Durant or
No
Joel
way.
Embiid again or
Oh
Jokic
yeah.
again or Giannis again.
Mhm.
Maybe Kawhi. We'll see if he can get back. I mean, he was playing close. He was playing
He
close to MVP
was.
level before he got injured. But okay,
Yeah,
Connor,
he
I see
was.
you. I see
Yeah.
you. I'm gonna bookmark that.
I'm calling it.
And we'll see what happens. Yeah. Do you guys have anything else before we get off into the new year? Get off.
No. Just high expectations. It could be at this point next year, we could be in very high spirits, or we could be in very low spirits. We could have
I'm
one
ready to be in
championship.
high spirits. Damn it, dude! Can you
We could.
imagine? Can you imagine opening day of the Intuit Dome? We got a banner. Well, actually, it probably
Raising that
wouldn't. The
banner.
timeline wouldn't. Yeah, but raising a banner into it the first year that it opens, that would be some storybook
That would
shit.
be
After
magical,
everything that
bro.
the Clippers have gone through, that would be incredible. I think. Yeah, I think I want to end this with going into the new year. Obviously we have our expectations really high, but I'm really happy to be a Clipper fan. Considering where the team used to be no more
Oh
than
yeah.
like a decade ago. Pre-Lob City, Clippers were consistently one of the worst teams in the league. Fans would come and watch Clipper games to watch their favorite team play us because the
Yeah.
tickets were cheap.
Yeah.
Our owner was racist and horrible.
Mm-hmm.
We've come a long way, so I think that that's something that we got to keep that in mind. The Clippers have come a long way. We are in a position to be able to win a championship. We have 4 Hall of Famers on our team. I can't believe, looking back, if I would have told my past self that James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard would all be Clippers by choice, pretty much, I would say that I'm crazy. So that's definitely something to be proud of and be happy
Mm-hmm.
about. Clipper Nation, let us know what you're appreciative of and what you want to see going into the new year. Let us know on Twitter and the comment section. Get at us and give us your hot takes. See if you can come up with something more ridiculous than us. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the last show of 2023. Everybody, we
Yep.
did it. We made this podcast. We've been talking about it for a long time. We went and did it. 2023 was a big year for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from basketball, I'm hoping for good health and good things to come everybody's way in 2024. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. We want to give you guys what you want to hear. So keep us posted. Let us know. We have good things coming in future shows. And like I said, we would just really appreciate everybody tuning in and giving us a chance to talk our shit and talk about our favorite team. We're ride or dies, till the wheels fall off. So thank you guys so
Mm-hmm.
much. You guys have
Thank you,
anything else you want
everyone.
to say?
Nope. That's it. You think you
All
said it
right. Well,
perfectly.
cheers to 2023 and 2024 around the corner. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, go Clips.
Go Clips. See you guys next year.